Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever been around an Aries, you probably already know that they're one of the most energetic, bold, and dynamic signs of the zodiac. But if you've ever wondered why they seem a little weird, you're not alone. Today, we're diving deep into the 15 reasons why Aries might just be the weirdest sign in the zodiac, and trust me, it's in the best way possible. Whether you're an Aries yourself or you just know someone who is, you'll definitely recognize some of these traits. Aries are known for their fiery passion, their impulsive decisions, and, let's face it, their inability to sit still. But there's so much more to them than just their endless energy. From their competitive streak to their constant need for adventure, Aries can sometimes leave people scratching their heads thinking, how do they do it? So, if you've ever found yourself thinking that Aries can be a little over the top, dramatic, or unpredictable, well, you're about to see that it's all part of their charm. And hey, if you're an Aries, I'm sure you'll be nodding along, agreeing with everything I'm about to say. Get ready for a wild ride as we uncover 15 reasons why Aries are so wonderfully weird. And don't forget to comment below if any of these sound familiar to you or if you think I missed any key traits of Aries. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more fun zodiac insights. Alright, let's get started and see what makes Aries one of the most intriguing, and yes, sometimes weird, signs in the zodiac. 1. They're impulsive. Aries are known for their impulsiveness, and it's a trait that defines so much of who they are. If something catches their eye, they don't wait around to think it through, they dive right in, often without any hesitation or second thoughts. Whether it's making a snap decision about a new career, buying something on a whim, or even acting on an idea that just popped into their head, Aries are driven by the need to act quickly. This impulsiveness is part of what makes them so exciting to be around, as they bring a sense of immediacy and energy to every situation. However, this quick decision-making can sometimes lead to trouble. Because Aries often act without fully considering the consequences, they can end up in situations they didn't plan for. To others, this impulsiveness can seem reckless or even weird, as not everyone shares that same need for speed. People who are more cautious or like to analyze things before taking action may find Aries' behavior a little hard to follow. But for Aries, this impulsiveness is just another way they live life to the fullest. It's how they keep things interesting and avoid getting stuck in the routine. Aries are always in motion, always thinking of the next thing to try, and their willingness to leap without thinking often leads them to exciting, new experiences. 2. They're not afraid of conflict. One thing about Aries is that they are never afraid of conflict. In fact, they often welcome it. While many people shy away from uncomfortable situations or avoid confrontation altogether, Aries charge right in. Whether it's an argument with a friend, a disagreement at work, or even standing up for themselves in a tough situation, Aries won't back down. They have a fearless attitude when it comes to conflict, often seeing it as an opportunity to prove their point, assert their independence, or fight for what they believe in. This fearlessness can be inspiring, but it also leads them into situations that others might try to avoid. Where other signs might choose peace or diplomacy, Aries prefer to tackle things head-on. For Aries, conflict isn't something to be feared, it's something to be faced with determination and strength. This characteristic can be seen as weird to people who aren't as comfortable with direct confrontation. While other zodiac signs may take a more passive approach to disagreements, Aries are in the thick of it, and they're ready to make their voice heard. They'll never shy away from an argument if they feel strongly about something, and this boldness is what makes them stand out from the crowd. While not everyone enjoys conflict, Aries thrive on the energy it brings and are not afraid to stir things up when they feel it's necessary. 3. They have a short fuse. Aries can be incredibly quick-tempered, and when they get angry, they don't hold back. Their fiery nature can ignite fast, and their reactions can sometimes seem a little over the top. If something frustrates them or crosses a boundary, you'll know it instantly. Aries are known for their short fuse, and they don't waste time pretending everything is okay when it's not. This sudden burst of anger is part of their intense personality and their need to live in the moment. The thing about Aries, though, is that they don't hold grudges. They may get upset quickly, but they also get over it just as fast. Once the storm has passed, they're often back to their usual selves, ready to move on. To others, though, this quick switch from calm to furious, and back again, can feel a little jarring. It can seem weird to those who are used to processing emotions more slowly or in a more controlled way. However, this short fuse is just another part of Aries' all-or-nothing approach to life. When they care about something, they care deeply, and if something feels off, their emotional response is immediate and intense. While their quick temper can sometimes lead to unnecessary drama, it's part of what makes them so passionate and unfiltered. Their emotions are raw, honest, and unafraid to be expressed. 4. They're always seeking adventure. If there's one thing you can count on with an Aries, it's that they are always in search of the next big adventure. Boredom is their worst enemy, and they'll go to great lengths to avoid it. Whether it's traveling to a new place, trying out a new sport, or taking on a spontaneous project, Aries are always chasing excitement. For them, life is meant to be experienced fully, and they crave new challenges that push them out of their comfort zone. This constant quest for adventure can be both thrilling and exhausting for those around them. While some people are content with routine and stability, Aries are always looking for something new to spice things up. They get restless quickly and have a hard time staying in one place for too long. This relentless desire for adventure makes them spontaneous and full of energy, but it can also come across as weird to others who prefer a more laid-back lifestyle. To Aries, though, adventure is what keeps life exciting, and they can't sit still for too long without feeling like they're missing out on something. They're driven by the need to experience new things and to constantly challenge themselves to do better, be better, and see more of the world. 5. They think they can do it all. Aries believe in themselves with an intensity that can be both inspiring and overwhelming. They think they can do it all, and more often than not, they're right. Their natural confidence and optimism make them feel capable of handling any situation that comes their way. However, this self-assurance sometimes leads them to take on more than they can realistically handle. Aries are known for overloading themselves with responsibilities because they genuinely believe they can accomplish everything they set their mind to. While this confidence is one of their greatest strengths, it can also be a bit weird when they refuse to admit that they've taken on too much. Instead of asking for help or acknowledging when they're stretched too thin, Aries will push forward, determined to make everything work. This can lead to burnout or frustration, but their belief in their own abilities keeps them going. Aries rarely consider their own limitations, always focusing on what's possible rather than what's practical. This drive to do it all can sometimes make them seem overconfident or unrealistic to others, but for Aries, it's just part of their larger-than-life personality. They believe in their power to succeed, and they're constantly trying to prove it to the world, and themselves. 6. They're always the leader. Aries are born leaders, and they have a natural inclination to take charge of any situation. Whether it's at work, in a group setting, or in a social scenario, Aries instinctively step up to lead, often without waiting for permission or instruction. This desire to lead comes from their strong confidence and belief in their ability to get things done. They have a clear vision of what they want and how to achieve it, which makes them highly effective in leadership roles. However, this can also be seen as weird by those who prefer a more collaborative or democratic approach. For Aries, leadership is not just a role, it's a way of life. They thrive when they are in control, making decisions and setting the direction for others to follow. While their leadership qualities can be inspiring, they can also make others feel like they're being pushed into the background. Aries don't wait for others to take charge, they'll assume the role themselves, even if it's not always wanted or needed. Their natural ability to lead is a double-edged sword. It drives them forward and makes them successful, but it can also alienate those who feel overshadowed by their boldness and assertiveness. Aries will always be the one to take the reins, whether people want them to or not. 7. They're unpredictable. Aries are notoriously unpredictable, and this trait often keeps people on their toes. Their impulsive nature, combined with their ever-changing moods and desires, makes them hard to pin down. One moment, they could be full of energy and enthusiasm, ready to take on the world, the next, they might be completely uninterested or off in another direction. This unpredictability is what makes them exciting but also a bit exhausting for those around them. You never know what an Aries will do next, and that can be both thrilling and, at times, frustrating. They tend to jump from one idea to the next without warning, constantly seeking new experiences or challenges. Their need for excitement means they're always changing their plans and goals, which can make them seem flighty or unreliable to those who prefer stability. For Aries, life is a constant adventure, and they don't like to feel stuck in a routine. While their unpredictability can be a source of energy and fun, it can also make it hard for others to keep up with them. People who enjoy structure or predictability might find this aspect of Aries' personality to be a bit weird, but for Aries, it's simply how they live, constantly moving forward, constantly seeking the next thrill. 8. They can be self-centered. Aries have a strong sense of self, and while this can be an empowering trait, it can also make them seem a bit self-centered at times. They are so focused on their own goals, ambitions, and desires that they sometimes forget to consider the needs or feelings of others. This self-centeredness is not necessarily intentional, it's just that Aries are so driven and single-minded that they often prioritize their own needs above everything else. They can be incredibly passionate about their goals and pursuits, which leaves little room for the concerns of those around them. To others, this can come across as weird because it can feel like Aries are completely unaware of how their actions affect others. Aries often expect the world to revolve around them, and they sometimes struggle to understand why others don't share their level of enthusiasm or commitment. Their focus on their own journey can make them appear dismissive of others, even though that's not their intention. For Aries, it's all about pursuing their desires, and sometimes that means being unaware of or uninterested in the needs of the people around them. While this self-focus can drive Aries to achieve great things, it can also create friction in relationships when others feel overlooked or neglected. 9. They're overly competitive. Aries' competitive nature is one of their defining traits, and they are always striving to be the best in everything they do. Whether it's a friendly game, a work project, or even a casual conversation, Aries sees it as a challenge to come out on top. This intense desire to win can be incredibly motivating for them, but it can also be overwhelming for others. Aries don't just want to succeed, they want to be the best, and this drive can sometimes make them pushy or relentless. They thrive in competitive environments and get a rush from proving their superiority. While some people are content with simply participating, Aries go into everything with the mindset that they must win. This level of competitiveness can make them seem weird to those who are more relaxed or who see competition as secondary to collaboration or enjoyment. For Aries, though, it's not just about winning, it's about demonstrating their strength, determination, and ability to outshine others. Their need to be the best can sometimes cause tension with others, especially those who don't share the same level of ambition. But for Aries, competition is a way of life, and they often can't help but turn everything into a contest. 10. They have a big ego. Aries are known for their confidence, but that confidence can sometimes veer into a big ego. They have a strong sense of self-worth and an unwavering belief in their abilities, which often manifests as an inflated sense of importance. Aries believe they are capable of anything, and they're not shy about letting others know it. This confidence can be inspiring, as it fuels their drive and determination, but it can also come across as arrogance to those who don't share the same level of self-assurance. Aries expect to be admired for their achievements and will often seek recognition for their efforts. Their big ego can be a double-edged sword. It helps them push forward and achieve greatness, but it can also make them seem self-centered and out of touch with others. When things don't go their way, their ego can bruise easily, leading to defensiveness or frustration. For Aries, their self-belief is essential to their identity, and it's often what propels them to success. However, this strong sense of self can sometimes cause friction with those who feel like Aries put themselves above others. Their ego may seem weird to people who are more humble or reserved, but for Aries, it's just another aspect of their vibrant personality and their drive to be the best. 11. They hate being told what to do. Aries are known for their strong independence, and they absolutely despise being told what to do. This is not because they are rude or unwilling to listen, but because they have a deep-seated need to make their own decisions and chart their own course. Aries value their freedom and autonomy above all else, and when someone tries to impose their will on them, it can trigger a strong, sometimes aggressive reaction. They don't respond well to authority, especially when they feel like they're being micromanaged or controlled. This rebellious streak can sometimes be seen as weird by people who are more used to following instructions or respecting hierarchy. Aries will often go out of their way to prove that they can do things on their own, even if it means going against the grain or challenging someone's authority. They're not afraid to take risks or make bold decisions, but only when they feel like it's on their own terms. This strong need to be in control of their own life can cause tension with people who try to tell them what to do, and Aries may even be more determined to do the opposite just to assert their independence. For Aries, their need for freedom is non-negotiable, and they will fight to maintain it at all costs. 12. They're often headstrong. Aries are incredibly headstrong, and once they've made up their mind about something, there's little anyone can do to change it. Their determination and resolve are some of their most admirable traits, but this can also make them difficult to work with or communicate with at times. When Aries set their sights on a goal, they become laser-focused, refusing to entertain any alternative suggestions or ideas. While this level of dedication can lead to great success, it can also come across as stubbornness or inflexibility. Aries simply don't like being told that they're wrong, and they often resist any kind of change that challenges their position. This unwavering attitude is part of their fiery nature, and they believe that they know best. It can be frustrating for those around them, especially if they are trying to collaborate or suggest a different path, but for Aries, this headstrong nature is a reflection of their inner strength. They're always going to stick to their guns, even if it means going through challenges or facing criticism. While this can lead to some impressive achievements, it can also create a weird dynamic when others feel like they can't get through to them or offer a different perspective. But for Aries, their headstrong attitude is part of what makes them who they are. They're not afraid to stand their ground and push forward, no matter what. 13. They can be reckless. Aries are known for their adventurous spirit and their willingness to take risks, but this often veers into reckless behavior. They are so focused on chasing excitement, achieving their goals, or proving their point that they sometimes fail to think about the consequences. Aries can be impulsive to a fault, rushing headlong into situations without fully considering how their actions will affect them or others. This recklessness can lead to all kinds of issues, whether it's making a rash decision in the heat of the moment or taking on more than they can handle. While their boldness and fearlessness are often praised, they can sometimes take things too far, leading to unexpected setbacks or problems. Their tendency to jump into things without thinking can seem weird to others, especially those who are more cautious or prefer to analyze the risks before taking action. For Aries, however, this is just part of who they are. They're driven by the desire to conquer new challenges and live life to the fullest, even if it means making mistakes along the way. Their recklessness might cause others to worry or shake their heads, but it's also what makes Aries exciting to be around. They have a way of making life feel like an adventure, even if it's a bit messy at times. 14. They're terrible at asking for help. Aries pride themselves on their independence, and because of this, they are notoriously terrible at asking for help. They believe that they should be able to handle everything on their own, and it's hard for them to admit when they're struggling or in over their heads. Aries have a strong need to prove themselves and show that they can accomplish anything they set their minds to, which often leads them to avoid seeking assistance from others. They might refuse help even when it's clearly needed, as they feel like asking for help is a sign of weakness or failure. This attitude can be weird to people who are more open to asking for support when needed. For Aries, though, their pride and independence are so important that they'd rather go it alone than rely on anyone else. This can sometimes result in unnecessary stress, burnout, or missed opportunities because they're not willing to delegate or lean on others for assistance. While their determination is admirable, it also means that Aries often take on more than they should, simply because they refuse to ask for help. This trait can be frustrating for those around them, especially those who are willing to pitch in and lend a hand, but Aries' refusal to ask for help is just part of their need for control and their desire to be self-sufficient. 15. They're always in a rush. Aries are always in a rush. They're constantly moving, constantly thinking about what's next, and never seem to slow down. Whether it's in their personal life, their career, or even just running errands, Aries are always on the go, trying to get things done as quickly as possible. They're in a hurry to accomplish their goals, experience new things, and move on to the next challenge. This fast-paced mentality makes them incredibly driven, but it also means that they can sometimes overlook important details or miss out on the enjoyment of the present moment. Aries are so focused on moving forward that they can't stand to be stuck in one place for too long. For them, life is about progress and achievement, and there's always something more to do or explore. While this sense of urgency can make them highly productive, it can also make them impatient and frustrated when things don't go as quickly as they'd like. This need to rush through life can seem weird to people who are more laid back or who prefer a slower pace. Aries don't have time for delays or distractions, they're always moving forward, always striving for more. While this drive is one of the things that makes Aries successful, it can also lead to burnout or feelings of dissatisfaction if they don't take the time to enjoy the journey. For Aries, there's always something more to do, and they're never going to slow down until they've reached their next goal. So, there you have it. We've covered 15 reasons why Aries are seen as so uniquely weird, and hopefully, you've had some fun diving into the quirks of this fiery zodiac sign. Aries may be bold, impulsive, and at times, unpredictable, but these are the very qualities that make them stand out in the most exciting ways. Their constant drive for adventure, their headstrong nature, and their natural leadership abilities are just a few of the things that make them such a captivating and dynamic force in the zodiac. Yes, they can be reckless and stubborn at times, and their quick temper can definitely cause some drama, but that's all part of the package. The impulsive decisions, the competitive streak, and their overwhelming confidence are all part of what gives Aries their spark. They're not afraid to be themselves, and they embrace their weirdness wholeheartedly. This unapologetic confidence is what makes them not just relatable but admirable. Even when they're acting rashly or charging headfirst into situations, it's all part of their charm. They live life with passion, energy, and a sense of urgency that others can't help but feel drawn to. While these traits can sometimes cause friction or confusion for those who prefer a more measured approach to life, there's no denying that Aries is one of the most exciting and inspiring signs in the zodiac. Whether you agree with these reasons or think that Aries has some quirks that weren't mentioned here, one thing's for sure, they never fail to leave an impression. Their boldness and unpredictability make them unforgettable, and their drive to succeed and experience life at full speed is something that's worth admiring. So, if you're an Aries watching this, take pride in your weirdness. It's what makes you who you are, and it's part of why you stand out from the crowd. And if you know an Aries, now you've got a better understanding of what makes them tick. So, let me know in the comments, did you recognize yourself in these 15 reasons? Or did we miss some key traits that make you or your Aries friend weird? Either way, I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more fun and insightful zodiac content. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's your quirks that make you unique. Stay true to yourself, embrace your Aries energy, and keep being unapologetically you.